be a spinal cyst. So
Right.
base of my spines are being eroded.
Right.
Causes chronic headache, digestive problems, chronic pain by the bone remodeling,
Right.
nausea.
Okay, and what's your first name?
Amy.
Amy, right, Amy, put your legs around that way so I can get to the back. Right, so it's a very rare form of cyst. Right, have you got a sister?
Yes.
All right, we are on camera, but we can press delete later. Anything that she's done that has really made you cross with her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. All right, because lumps are anger. Yeah? Yeah, and it's low down in the spine. Would it be fair to say your sister's been a right pain in the bum?
Both of them have been at times, yeah.
See, sister and sister? It doesn't always mean that, but in this case, okay. Okay, right. Right, let's explore why we get angry. All right. So, there's a thought in our head and it triggers an emotional response of anger. We are emotional beings and we really need to get this, guys. You know, as young children get emotional and we condition them not to get emotional. Oh, don't do that. You know, we get embarrassed if we're in public, and we try and stop them releasing their emotions. But actually they need to release those emotions. Have you ever seen a 2-year-old having a tantrum? I mean, they're like volcanoes, aren't they, going off? And you're trying to hold that in, good luck to you. You know, just say, no, come on, do it even louder. In fact, I'll do it with you. Guess what the 2-year-old does when I start doing it with them? They stop, because they're like, oh my God, that woman's a nutter. I don't know if 2-year-olds can think that way, but that, you know, you start to get in rapport with them, and then I kick my legs as well, and I bang and I do it. And when we end up giggling. So you can move into rapport with a 2-year-old, and then you can move them into a different space. But if we try and make them keep it in, that's not going to be good health-wise, is it? And so the chances are for you, Amy, is it was something when you were really little that one of your sisters did, and it right pissed you off. You were really angry about it. But if it's anything like when I was growing up, there were 3 of us, right? Mum had this strategy. If there was any dispute, we were all wrong. She didn't have the time to hear this story and this story and this story. She had this very simple technique. She says, right, stand in a line, the 3 of you, right, stick out your tongues, because whoever's lying, their tongue is going to go black. And 2 of us would go, and the other ones, busted, eh? It's not a bad idea, is it? But my partner didn't like that one. He thought my children's tongues might actually go black, so we didn't do it. All right, and we should never get our children or our partners into a position where they have to lie to save their asses. If you want a child to tell you the truth, never paint them into the corner. Always say, I'd rather have the truth. I don't care what you've done, I want the truth. And I had one of my partners try that on me a few years ago, because he'd heard me tell the story, and so, oh, you're not going to like what I've done today. What do you mean, what have you done? No, you're not going to like it. Seriously, what have you done? No, seriously, you're going to go absolutely mental. You're not going to want to have anything more to do with me. No, just tell me. I'm not going to finish with you. Just tell me what is it you've done. And then when he did actually spit the beans, well, I couldn't really get upset, could I? It's a bit of a naughty, sneaky tactic, that one, isn't it? Okay, so this cyst is a lump of energy, and chances are it's from childhood. That's the most likely thing. So let's explore what anger is. You have a thought, and it triggers a chemical in your body that you have labelled as anger. Now, somebody else may have that exact same feeling chemically, but they've labelled it as frustration. Somebody else may have that similar feeling or the same one, and they've labelled it as rage. And somebody else may have labelled it as passion. See, only you know how you've labelled all the different feelings. Yeah, and what if other people have labelled them differently to you? We don't know, do we? Now, still stay with anger, because if I don't, I'll go off track. So, what causes anger to arise within me? It's this. If I return home from a trip, and the house looks like a bomb site, you know, and I'm 2 in the morning, I've just driven up from Wellington or whatever, and I'm tired, and I open the door, and it's like, oh my goodness me, we've got people coming tomorrow. I'm going to go, woof, I'll probably wake everybody up and say, clear up this bloody mess. All right? Why? I had an expectation as I walked in the door that the house was going to be tidy. So my expectation precedes the anger. If I don't have any expectation, believe you me, my house is well messy. I have no expectation of my house being tidy. So I actually expect my house to look like a bomb site. If it doesn't, if it's just middling messy, I'm glad. So it's your expectation that triggers anger. Now your expectation is usually rooted in what you would do. It's not rooted in what your partner would do or what your kids would do. They're not you. So whenever you find yourself getting angry, whether it's with a politician, I got angry yesterday with the education minister, wanted his resignation, because he suddenly decided, firstly, people that make informed choices against vaccines, we've been labelled anti-vaxxers, even though most of us aren't. Most of us were pro-vaccine. I've had lots of vaccines. And it's only my direct experience that has led me to question the efficacy, effectiveness, and the safety of vaccines. But I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I've had several vaccines in my life because I've travelled internationally, and I'm not a not believer. I'm somebody that is like, hang on a minute, look what's happened to this kiddie. Is there a link here? And we've had it in my own family, so that's why I'm interested. Well, the Minister of Education has decided that anti-vaxxers are pro-plague. Excuse me? Really? And you're the education minister? You're in charge of educating our children? How does he leap from somebody that's making an informed choice, an educated person, about a vaccine, whether or not to have it for our children, when another child has already been damaged in the family by a vaccine? That's an informed, educated choice. Compulsory vaccination is very frightening for me because we've already got one child damaged with Asperger's. I don't want the other two damaged, thank you. And I really believe that we should have freedom of choice and freedom of speech. That's the bigger thing. So yesterday I was very, very cross with the educational minister for his hate speech. Straight after Christchurch, does that strike you as odd? That was hate speech, calling people that make informed decisions against vaccines pro-plague. We're talking about measles. Just a little straw poll. Hands up if you've had measles. Right. Hands up if you know of anybody that died of measles. Nobody. Well, there's at least 30 people in this room and not a single person knows anybody. I don't know anybody. I've never met anybody who's told me that somebody has died. So it's pretty rare, isn't it? Do you know how many deaths there were in 2018 in New Zealand from measles? Any ideas? None. 2017? 2016? None. 2015? None. 2014? None. 2013? None. 2012? None. 2011? None. Education Minister, I hope you're watching this. 2010, none. This is not fake news, you can check it out. 2009, none. 2008, none. 2007, none. 2006, none. 2005, none. 2004, none. We're talking about how many people died of measles in New Zealand. 2004, none. 2003, none. 2002, none. 2001, none. The year 2000, none. 1999, none. 1998. We have to go back 28 years to find a single death. Why is the Ministry of Health saying that 50% of all people that catch measles run the risk of death? When did measles ever have a death rate of 50%? That's what's in your media at the moment. Media, you should be appalled at yourselves. They're saying, measles, we caught it. We got through it. We had a week off school. It was great. And we developed immunity. And immunity is not what vaccines are. This is a God-given body that can defend itself. All right? What causes if you get measles? Number one, you have to get exposed to it. If I don't get exposed, I'm not catching it. Unless, of course, they give me a vaccine and the vaccine spreads measles, which is what's happened in America. Just look at Washington, D.C. if you want some information about that. Okay. So then I've got an immune system. So if I've got a healthy immune system, in New Zealand we've got good sanitation, we've got good food, relative to the rest of the world, so we don't get deaths from measles. But there are side effects from the vaccine, and they're getting more and more serious, more and more cases are coming out. On average, I see 3 people a week, them or their children are affected by vaccines. 3 a week I'm seeing. Children that are soiling themselves after the vaccine and they can't stop pulling their pants and they're going to school and they're 7 and 8 years of age. Children with in the autistic spectrum. Can we say it's the vaccines? There's a lot of science says it is. When there's no deaths from measles, right? So a lot of, I can tell you in the United States, I'll give you a few statistics there. I can't remember which year it is, but I saw something where deaths from measles was 0, deaths from the vaccine was 108. Something quite not right there, eh?
John Bergman has a lot to say about it.
John Bergman? Alright, go online, look up John Bergman. Oh. I like a lady called Dr. Susan Humphreys. She's a nephrologist. She's a kidney doctor, and she deals with people that are going on dialysis, and as they're admitted to hospital, she does the initial checks, then they have their vaccines brought up to date. She met them again, and she realised across the board that their health had gone down. And she's abandoned now being a nephrologist, and all she does now is study the vaccine data, and it is staggering. It is staggering. Compulsory vaccination is very, 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 very scary. Right, Amy, how are we getting on? See, that set me off because it was a lump of anger. All right, now, so let me work out what I need to do, because I've created now, talking about that stuff, I've created a not nice energy in me and possibly in the room, so I'm just going to apologise for that. And I'm just going to suggest what we need to do is focus on something positive. So I think about all the people that are looking for answers, all the scientists that are open-minded and looking and analysing for the data to help everybody's health improve. Cool. Amy, how's your back feeling at the moment?
Well, thankfully today I've had minimal symptoms anyway.
All right,
so
okay.
Not a lot to go on. So.
Right, okay, so time will tell whether that's helped.
Yes.
All
yeah.
right, give her a round of applause.